Most people think that injuries are a part of training, especially when it comes to flexibility and strength training, but they don't have to be. If you understand how to train for flexibility correctly, you'll make sure that you'll never get injured and avoid those annoying plateaus.
We are the gym that teaches people how to move instead of just exercise, because we believe that health is about performance, not just body image.
So, the thing about getting injured with flexibility training is that people rush it. They don't understand how all the things that go into a really good flexibility program. It's so much more than just stretching. Yes, you do need programs for flexibility and for stretching as well. It's not about just doing a couple of random stretches. And if you sum it all up, the key is progressive overload and periodization. So periodization means that you change certain variables in your flexibility training, exercise selection, intensity, volume, a bunch of different things every several weeks. And you do that to reflect your ability to improve, but also to prevent plateaus. Now, the key to this is patience. You need to be patient. The 4 things that I want to talk about in this video, the variables that you can really learn to understand to avoid injury, is exercise intensity, so stretching intensity, stretching volume, complexity, and rest between sets. So those 4 things are going to be a game changer and are going to really help you to avoid injury. So let's go through them. Hey, in case we haven't met, my name's Rad Burmeister. I'm one of the co-founders of Unity Gym and the co-creators of the Unified Movement System, or UMS, where we make driven people strong, flexible, and fit using calisthenics and weightlifting and modern day flexibility methods. If you want to know more about how we get such amazing results with our tribe members, you can download one of the free blueprints, flexibility blueprint, strength blueprint, at-home workout blueprints. We've got a whole bunch of them. They're free. You can get a link in the description of this video. Or if you want to grab one of our amazing programs for strength, flexibility, or fitness, or calisthenics skills, again, there's a link in the description here. And hey, if you're ready to dive in deep and start online coaching with me and my brother and my team, where you can get daily coaching from us and get access to our ultimate program, the Unified Movement System, there's an opportunity here for you to get a 30-day free trial and an amazing offer on the price of the subscription. Click the link in this video if you're ready to dive in. What do I mean by intensity? Well, exercise intensity when it comes to stretching, it can mean the exercise selection itself, but I'll talk more about how hard you push. So a good example is you can get a nice hamstring stretch by leaning over and holding like this. You know, you can even do eccentric loading where you come down and back up, and you can do like eccentric loading like that. To increase the intensity, I can simply pick up a couple of dumbbells. So as soon as I've got a couple of dumbbells, this is the exact same stretch. You know, I'm doing an isometric loaded stretch on my hamstring, or I can do eccentrics where I'm just coming down and back up. But just by picking up weight, I'm increasing the intensity. Now, in all honesty, that's a pretty safe example of it. A more common example of people going too hard, meaning they've increased the intensity too much, is when they do like static stretching, meaning that their body is being pulled apart by an external object. It's usually the floor. You know, like if you're doing a hip flexor stretch or front splits or whatever, the floor is, when I do this, as I lean forward, it's the floor that's holding my leg, pulling it back, that's going to increase the stretch. So this is really easy when people are going into these deep stretches to increase the intensity, to think I'm going to go harder, 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 and cause themselves an injury. So that's what we mean by when we say complexity, okay? If we talk about volume, volume is really just how much stretching you do. So how much volume within one workout. Are you doing 3 sets of 30 seconds, or are you doing 3 sets of 3 minutes of stretching, or are you doing 5 sets of 60 seconds, whatever it is. Doing too much volume can absolutely cause injury and cause problems for you. So that's something, again, that you have to understand how to manipulate, how to play around with. And volume also ties in with, because that's volume within a workout, volume also ties in with the 4th point, which I'll talk about now, which is how long resting between stretching sessions. And for that, you really need to understand the difference between flexibility and mobility. And we've got another video in this series. This is video 8 out of 10 videos in this series. I'm pretty sure the flexibility versus mobility video is video 7, but there's a playlist with all of these, so check that out so you understand the difference. So mobility you can do every day, very nice and gentle, but flexibility training you absolutely need to recover from. And generally speaking, we follow the 48 to 72 hour recovery window for doing flexibility training on the same muscle groups, except for the middle splits. Middle splits we actually only do once a week to get best results. And I've tried doing middle splits 5 days a week, 3 days a week, 2 days a week and 1 day a week, and I've got best results from doing it 1 day a week. And we've had the same results with thousands of people all around the world. So that refers to training volume. Now the last one, complexity. If we have a look at the complexity variable, so if I look at, for example, a single leg good morning where I'm coming down like this, so I'm doing a eccentric loading on the hamstrings and the calves here when I do it, that is more complex than doing a bilateral eccentric loading on the hamstrings and calves. Why? Because there's more that goes on in it. I have to balance now. There's more that my brain has to work out and figure out. It makes it a more complex exercise. Does that make it better? No, not necessarily. Is it a good option for you as you progress? Absolutely. Going to more complex exercise selection is a critical part of progression. It's what our bodies crave as we get better. And another example of progressing complexity with this same movement here is if I do a single leg front split stretch where as I come down I bring my back leg up, so I'm actively strengthening the hip extensors. Okay, so by doing this is really increasing that complexity continuum, because now I'm adding another element to it. And I can increase complexity and intensity by doing that same thing but with dumbbells. Okay, so there's so many different ways that you can play around with complexity, and it is one of the biggest reasons why people get injured, not just in flexibility training, but people trying to work out and put workouts together themselves. Complexity is for sure one of the biggest problems, one of the biggest mistakes that people make, because people are just going too hard too soon. They don't understand how to progress safely, and what happens is that you just get injured. If you try something like this when you're not ready for it, it can be really disastrous, unfortunately. So those are the 4 things that you really want to wrap your head around and understand how can you manipulate them safely to avoid injury. And the real secret sauce here with all of them is patience. Take your time. You want to think, doesn't matter how old or young you are or how old or young you feel, time is on your side. You want to just take your time with things. The worst thing that you can do is rush it and cause yourself an injury. It really is. And I've had so many injuries from getting all of this wrong, which is why we're able to coach people on this stuff, because we've experienced it ourselves. I've got a lot of experience with injury with training and trying to make myself flexible as an adult. So I really hope that you got something out of that, and make sure you watch all of the 10 videos in this series. They're really valuable breakthroughs that are going to be, if you watch them and really absorb the lessons, you're going to get a lot out of it, and you can apply it to whatever it is that you're doing. Hey, thanks for watching that video. If you liked it, consider subscribing to our channel and make sure you click the notification bell so you know when our weekly videos are uploaded. Now, the best thing for you to do if you want to stay connected with us and get free online coaching is to join our private Facebook group. It's called the UMS Movement Mastermind, and we go live daily where we answer our members' questions. It's very interactive because you can post questions while we're live and we interact with you on the show. You can also upload videos or pictures of yourself with any movements, any stretches, strength training movements, calisthenics, weightlifting, anything that you're struggling with, and we'll critique you, give you feedback, let you know how you can get better. It's a really valuable resource. It allows a lot of communication with us and also our senior tribe members. You'll get answers very, very quickly, and it's absolutely free. So jump on Facebook, search for UMS Movement Mastermind and join now. Until next time, have a great day.